afternoon or night, everyone, and welcome to ZSR 4. And this is the bi-weekly fun race for the Wind Waker Randomizer. So without further ado, I will hand this over to our absolutely wonderful tracker. Not our tracker, our host.
Hello, thank you for the introduction there. I hope everybody's doing well today. So we have an interesting style of race for the fun race this week. We're doing what we refer to in Wind Waker as, I guess probably people refer to it in other communities as well, but it's a bottle percent race. So this race will be completed as soon as whichever runner, or every runner, finds all 4 bottles that exist in Seed. So they don't have to actually defeat Ganon or anything today. We're just finding bottles, and that is all. I guess the thing worth mentioning the most is that the bottles can actually be pretty much anywhere in our in-logic locations. So going to be interesting to see where they end up. This version, or I should say, this race today is being played on a test build, testing some new features, hopefully to be added into the official build of the rando at a later time. But we're also going to be testing new types of hints to help the runners find the items that they're looking for, whether they be bottles or other progression items. And then also we have a chest type matches content. So the chests that have our progression items in them, or bottles or anything, leaf, grappling hook, sword upgrades, anything like that, are going to look a little bit different than the chests that have useless items in them, like rupees or bait or treasure charts, things like that. Things that we're not going to need to finish the seed or anything. We have 5 dungeon race mode today for this seed as well. So 5 of our dungeons are going to be in logic. Now, just because the race does end when we find all 4 bottles, it is possible that we could end this seed without having to go into any dungeons at all, which would be very interesting. It is also possible that one of our final 4 bottles could be in Hyrule, so we might see people clear everything looking for the bottles. So it's definitely going to be pretty interesting to see how this one. I think we are waiting for the last couple of people to ready up, and then we should be underway. What else is there to mention in logic for this seed? We have a lot of the usual stuff. We have our free gifts, our puzzle caves, of course, the 5 dungeons will be in logic. We have our island puzzles, not just the island puzzle caves, but the island puzzles themselves. There's a category of checks, our miscellaneous checks, which are some chests that exist in the overworld in the game and other sort of like things that don't really fit into any specific categories. We have our we also have in logic our fairy fountains, so there are several of those scattered throughout the Great Sea that our runners will be going to. We're also starting with a sword today, and we are starting with bombs, so that's going to keep things interesting as well. Our hints are going to be on stone tablets. This is also a new feature that's been being tested by our runners now. Those tablets are spread throughout the Great Sea and on different islands in various caves. There are, I believe, 30 total hint stones with 15 unique hints available throughout the course of those stones. So there's a duplicate of each of the 15 hints out there. So you might not find, sometimes you won't find all 15 hints. Sometimes you'll find all 15. It just depends on where they end up. It looks like everyone has readied up now, so we should be getting ready to start in very, very quickly here. Less than a minute, I would say. That's good. Nothing else really to say at the beginning here. We have a random starting island as well, so we're going to see Excuse me, sorry, throat's dry. We don't know where we're going to begin this seed at, so that's very interesting. Always fun to see, especially if it ends up at outset, which is where you normally start, so, without the random starting islands. It's always kind of funny. But the starting with bombs, and we start with a sword as well, so the beginning of the seed is very, very open for all of our runners. There are potentially hints at some of the islands that aren't necessarily in logic, I believe. Some of the stones are on those locations. I don't know all the locations off the top of my head, admittedly. We can see here we're actually starting on Stone Watcher. So we can see one of our runners immediately warping to Windfall. Not a bad play to start with. Windfall has 6 checks, that all 6 of them in logic you can get right at the beginning of the seed. You don't even need to do anything special. Of course, by starting with bombs, we also have our bomb mail. You can see our runners collecting now. That is available right at the beginning as well. And it looks like we're going to be... excuse me. It looks like we're going to be loaded up on cash right at the beginning here, so that's nice. Sometimes when you're playing with chest type matches the contents, and you don't open up a lot of the chests with rupees in them, you end up with not very many rupees for whatever you need to buy things like bait, or if you want to refill on bombs or something like that later on. And it's always nice to have at least one of the checks that you get that you don't know for sure whether it's required or not, because it's not in a chest. It's sort of nice to be able to get some rupees from that, so you don't have to worry about farming rupees later on, especially because there is potentially some letters we have to mail. We can see on Alex's side there on the left, that chest was a wooden chest. Those are the types of chests that if you see those, you can know right away that they do not have a logically required item to beat the game in them. So you can just skip right past those chests. Any of the chests that are going to have a required item in them are going to look metal and have spikes on them. And the only other type of chest you want to keep a lookout for are the chests that contain the dungeon keys. So those chests are going to look similar to the wooden chests, but they have a slightly different color scheme. They have a blue and yellowish, goldish kind of color scheme to them. And more rupees too here early on, so lots of rupees. And we can see we're getting some hints. Fire Mountain is foolish. That's always nice to see. It means that we don't have to go into Fire Mountain. Windfall, Way of the Hero, that's kind of a meme type hint, I suppose. You always go there right away anyway. And then the Writings of Your Sister, that's of course means Errol's letter, which you get for beating Helmrock at the Forsaken Fortress. Now we know that contains a chart, so of course we won't have to worry about collecting that mail when our runners get to that point. Going to be freeing Tingle here now. Tingle gives us 2 items, which, you know, that's nice, healthy amount of items to collect. Of course, the first one is a treasure chart, so that's not exactly what we were hoping for, unfortunately. And we have a Triforce chart, which is just as unwanted. See Huffpuff going to be crawling through here. There's actually a cool trick you can do. I wonder if Alex will do it, where you can kind of sidle behind the door to the jail cell, and you can sneak a peek at the chest in this cave here in the back. Or I don't know, do you count this a cave? I guess it's more like a tunnel. But you can sidle behind this cave, turn Link around, crouch down, and rotate the camera out of bounds. Oh, there we go. And you can see the chest. And it is a metal chest, as we can see here. That's what the chest with spikes on them, that's what they will look like if they have a progress item. And we can see here this one has a Tingle Statue. So we know that the Tingle Statue could potentially lead to something on Ankle. When you collect all 5 Tingle Statues, you can go to Tingle Island, and Ankle will, of course, give you an item. Now, the nice thing about that check is that it is one of the checks that is considered an always check. So there should always be a hint, I believe, with how the hint system works, and Tanjo can correct me on this if I'm wrong, because I know he's in the chat. There should always be a hint for Ankle as long as it's in logic. So that is. So we might see that potentially here soon as well. That is correct. Okay, I'm glad to know that. And it looks like we have Alex sailing up to our northern fairy island. That makes sense. There's not really any better time to go there than after Windfall because there's nothing else near it, and you can get it right at the beginning. And we have Huff Puff going through and collecting the Dean's Pearl, and going to be checking this chest, realizing it's a wooden chest, and going from there. So they will be able to now leave Windfall. I believe they've checked everything, and we're seeing what's in the fairy fountain on the left side here on Alex's screen. I know we're all on the edge of our seat just waiting for see what comes from this great fairy. And it's a piece of art. Unfortunate, but it is what it is, as they say. So now we'll be interested to see where Alex goes next. I think there are a few options here. I probably personally would lean towards going towards the maybe the Cliff Plateau direction, or to this Dragon Roost Island is a good play as well because you can full clear it here with the items that you have. And then you can go to Paw Print. Paw Print actually has 4 hint stones on it, similar to Windfall, so there's a lot of value to going there early. You can get a lot of information. Fortunately, nothing really that useful from the Wind Shrine for us. We get another hint there. And we're going to be going around and doing the chest on top of the boulder here, it looks like. And I'm wondering if Alex is going to do the strat for storing it to check the fly across. I'm imagining so. Just because it doesn't really make sense not to do it. We actually have the same routing decision going on the other side here. Huff Puff also heading over to DRI, and going to check the Wind Shrine as well. Alex electing to go ahead and just peek this chest first. It looks like it's also a metal chest, so probably going to do the chest storage strategies to go ahead and collect both chests. So we're going to get to see that strategy right here, actually. It's a very cool strat. You do kind of the same thing that they did before, and do the Wind Waker dive off the ledge here. You fall underneath, and then you can sort of, because you have chest storage, you can like walk along the walls. It's very cool. And very easy. Huff Puff looking like they're going to check the Beetle 20 rupee item, which is definitely something that could be useful here. Another good reason why it's good to get... Oh, and getting the leaf. That's really huge. Yeah, the leaf actually speeds up this trick that Alex is doing on the other side of the screen, so that would have been something nice to grab actually before doing this. But, you know, it's not that huge of a difference. We'll see if Huff Puff can capitalize on it. And now we have Ghost Ship charts. Interesting too, because if Alex actually gets the leaf, could potentially do Ghost Ship very, very early. The leaf allows you to skip Ghost Ship, and that is obviously very nice. Not having to do the combat is very much preferred. Looking like they're not going to end up checking Beetle here. Maybe they'll check it at Paw Print though, so there's still hope for that. I personally like to do the ghost ship if I have Leaf as early as possible, if I get the ghost ship chart, just because it's really nice because the ghost ship on the first night is at Crescent Moon, which is the island that's 1 quadrant north of Pawprint. So if you can get it on the first, if you can get the ghost ship chart early, you can sort of route this Pawprint in with with that island, because there is also a chest there. That's good. And now we see Alex going in to check Beetle here at Pawprint, getting the Leaf, and they will be able to... I'm imagining they're going to do Pawprint. Or, sorry, Crescent after Pawprint, and then do the ghost ship. There's 4 more hints in Pawprint, so that'll be exciting to see. Plus, the nice thing about going to Pawprint early is also Salvage Core always has a free item for us, so we can collect that really quickly. It's Wind God's Aria. That is the most useless song in this game, fortunately. Second most useless one. Wind's Requiem, maybe? I guess you get some checks for that. EGL is pretty not useful. They're both not great, but yeah. All the other ones are very useful. Alright, so we know from that hint there is a sword in Tower of the Gods. That hint, I believe, is referring to the mini-boss in Tower of the Gods, so we know we have a sword there. See, climbing up the pegs. Alright, so that's a hint actually for in this cave, the hint for scale the wall with the grappling hook, telling us that that is in fact a progressive wallet. This hint telling us Wind Temple is Way of the Hero, meaning it does contain a item required to defeat Ganon and beat the game. And Cliff Plateau is Way of the Hero, so that's good to know. With a sword and leaf, you can do Cliff Plateau basically at maximum speed, so now that we know it's Way of the Hero, probably a good idea to go there very soon. The grappling hook check here, having the wallet, is interesting because the wallet might be needed, but the other thing is because of the settings we're using, there is a second wallet out there somewhere that you could potentially find and not have to come back here at all. Now, that's obviously not a super high % chance of happening, and also very interesting, all of those chests were empty there in Pawprint. They all were the wooden chests, so... Yeah. Oh, and dicey situation there for Huffpuff, but they were able to get clipped back up onto the piece of land there. It's definitely tricky. You have to like move very, very like particularly, and sometimes you just pop back up. Sometimes it feels like it just doesn't want it to happen, but hey, got it that time, and that's all that matters. It looks like Alex is heading up to Crescent. This, of course, being the... oh my goodness, excuse me. This, of course, being what we were talking about earlier. We can do Ghost Ship here with the Leaf. I think, actually, the Ghost Ship is... Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here, but... Well, actually, it should just be in Logic with the Sword. I was going to say, we're so used to playing where we don't start with Sword, but since we do start with Sword, it's definitely in Logic with the Sword, but may not be with... But without a sword, I think it's also in Logic with bombs, too, so that's... And we are, in fact, in Ghost Ship, so we're going to see how this goes. So we get the Stalfo spawn, and that's not what you want to see, generally. And we are also on Crescent here. And it looks like we are going to be leaving on Huffpuff's side. The interesting thing is, I'm not sure if Alex did this, and somebody can let me know if they did or not. I'm not sure, but you can use the telescope to peek at what the chest looks like and tell if you need to do this or not. So I'm not sure if they checked the chest. I did miss that. I was watching the other screen. But, okay, yeah. Definitely very helpful. We're going to be getting our Salvage Core gift here as well on Huffpuff's side, so they're going to be, I'm sure, overjoyed to see the Wind God Zarya. Loves Wind God Zarya, of course. Yeah, it is definitely weird to see somebody go all the way to a chest and then just not open it up. It's definitely not something we're used to seeing here in the Wind Waker. The Stalfos head is really giving Alex a rough time. It doesn't help having the baby sword. One thing I like to do with the small sword is if I can get the head to stop moving, like that, I'd like to sort of do like a self-exploding bomb type thing where I drop a bomb and immediately blow it up, because the bomb does a lot of damage to the head. It might actually one-shot. I don't know, though. I can't quite remember. My memory isn't what it once was. Looks like Alex going to use those pots to refill on bombs as well here. Definitely a good idea. The cliff plot, or the ghost ship, very great place to refill on bombs, arrows, rupees if you need them, all sorts of things. Well, I guess really just those things. But yeah. So now we're going to head to Outset. We should be able to do basically everything here except for what the cool kids call yeeting the pig. We don't quite have power bracelets yet for that, but we can do everything else. And it looks like we're going to be grabbing pairs, maybe seeing Alex go over to Headstone after this, potentially, although Horseshoe is also an option, so I'm going to be interested to see what they do. We're finishing up at Paw Print here on Huffpuff's side, so I'm wondering where they're going to go next. I'd like to think that, for me at least, Cliff Plateau feels really good because we got the Way of the Hero hint for Cliff Plateau. But I'm not sure where they're sailing to now. The Fairy Island, I think. Eastern Fairy Island is what that looks like. Yeah, I think that's what that is. Nice play, I like that. It's definitely sort of like a weird situation to be in there where you want to go to Eastern Fairy, you want to go to Paw Print, and you want to go to Crescent all at the same time, so it sort of creates an awkward situation. There we see we get a hint that says Western Fairy Island is foolish, so that's good. That's one of the really out-of-the-way fairy islands. We don't really want to have to go there. Now we're in Jaboon's Cave. We can see, of course, this has a wooden chest, so it is not required. So we can just immediately leave. Always feels pretty good. We're going to be checking the chest in Mesa's house. Now, normally... Oh, and of course the Outset Fairy here. So, normally this chest here, actually... You cannot get inside this house during the daytime. The door just says, you know, out for the day or something like that. I'm not really sure. But you can do a cool little roll clip here on this ledge and go inside the house and access the loading zone from the back. Almost like taking the back door. But you're not really taking the back door, you're taking the back of the door. It's a little different, but hey. There's a few that people have found, specifically because we've starting with the telescope for these types of settings. So you can see certain chests, like the Forest Haven Small Island chest you can see on the way to Cliff Plateau pretty easily. That clue telling us that I think the Wind Temple mini-boss, or the Wind Temple big key chest contains a small key. I only got a glimpse of that hint, so I'm not 100% yeah, somebody can definitely correct me if I am wrong. There's another way. I think you can peek the top chest here on Cliff Plateau on Huffpuff's side, which, by the way, I approve of this play. I like this play a lot. Oh, and it looks like... I'm not sure where did they get... Did they get Ferore's Pearl from the Eastern Ferry? I think I missed that. Oh, yeah, that falling down there, that's... There's a lot of ones. I know Tanjo has a... Tanjo, don't you have in the pinned message, I think in the Racing Discord, there's a doc that lists some peaks, right? That there are? But, yeah, that lists a lot of the more well-known ones. We have another hint here. Tower of the Gods is Way the Hero. That's a little bit unfortunate. We kind of already knew that because we know there's a sword there. But hey, you know. There's no such thing as bad information, right? Except maybe that. That might have been. That might be the example of potentially bad information, honestly. Ooh, okay. That is interesting. So see, there we go. It was good information. At least for the sake of knowing things. I don't really think that changes how you play very much, per se, because you probably are going to Tower of the Gods pretty early anyway. Oh, the Skull Hammer. That's interesting. Now we can do all of Forsaken Fortress. Oh, we have our first bottle. Hello, hello. And wouldn't you know it, it's in the home of Grandma, the one person we need the bottle for, actually, in this seed. Very interesting. Yeah, the bottle chests will all be spiky, so that is good to know. We have a wooden chest here, so it looks like we are avoiding it. On Huffpuff's side. Usually you use this chest to store and go do Bird's Peak. Huffpuff electing not to do that strat, maybe just wanting to do it with grappling hook later, or potentially just use the bait bag, as some might call the vanilla strategy. And here we go, everyone's favorite part of the game. We are saving Grandma. You know, everybody likes this. Maybe Grandma will give us a bottle. I know that tends to happen, so it's, we'll see. It's sort of like an interesting mix of wanting to just get bottles, because obviously this is a bottle percent race, and also wanting to get good items so you can, you know, do things more quickly and find your bottles. So there's an interesting dynamic going on here with this type of race, admittedly. We're going to see if saving Grandma was worth it. I'm on the edge of my seat. I don't know about everyone else. Dang, not worth. Unsave. Soft reset out. Grandma let us down. What can we say? Yeah, Great Fish is another one that you can see from the beach, or even from just like sailing right underneath the little alcove, or whatever you want to call it, that the chest is in. We can also use the telescope here at Headstone to see if this is something that we need up on top of Headstone. So that's always nice. I can't tell what that is. Can anybody else tell what it is? I like to do it from the other side because the hill sort of like slants upwards from this end, like blocking the item's view from you slightly. Plus also I play on like a older style monitor because I play on Wii, so it's harder for me to see. It is unfortunate actually, Huffpuff here at Western Ferry, Oh, it's a bow. That's huge. Now we can actually sail up to Shark Island and do Cyclos if Alex wanted to. Unfortunate for Huffpuff that they're coming to Western Ferry before getting the hint that it was foolish, I believe. So, unfortunate for them. Oh, we're seeing our second sword hint. That's pretty cool. Turning a fort made of steel. So that's the Islet of Steel, which is its own check. And it is a piece of heart. So, hey, but the advantage there for Huffpuff, they're going to have an extra heart going into for the rest of the seed. So that'll be nice, right? Western Ferry wasn't completely useless, unlike the golden feather we got from. Right? And let's see, where is Alex going now? It looks like they are going up to Shark Island, and they are going to be doing Cyclos here. So I also approve of this decision. I think this is very good, clean routing here. I like the call. We get to see everyone's favorite big red frog. Forgot his name the other day. Couldn't remember it. Thought it was like Mike or something like that. I was close. It looks like on Huffpuff's end, we are checking out the cabana. So that's interesting. Call to come here. There is a hint here, so we might get a little more information in that regard. Silver rupees, so lots and lots of rupees for us here. Fortunately, my eyesight wasn't good enough to tell if that chest on the top of the waterfall was spiky or not, so I'm glad that we are going to test it out for the sake of my own curiosity. And it is spiky, okay, so we are going to be opening this up. What do we have here? Oh, there's our second bottle. Oh, we're halfway there. We are halfway there. See a little bit of joy on Huffpuff's end. Finding bottle. Yes, now we just have to hope the other two bottles aren't in the depths of hell, as they sometimes like to be. Alex doing Cliff Plateau now. Now this, of course, we know has the skull hammer on the inside, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And, of course, we have the empty chest, potentially. Chest of wooden chest that probably we don't need. Or that we definitely don't need, actually, on the top level. We're going to Mother and Child over here on Huffpuff's side. This is definitely a place you want to go to really early in these types of settings because there are 2 stone tablets here, and the chest is really, really easy to just get. Wait, they're not leaving, are they? They already checked the chest? Or is it a wooden chest? Am I just missing it? Shocking to see we're not checking the hints. Wouldn't think? Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. Oh, you know, it actually makes a lot more sense to check that hint after storing that chest. I'm gonna start doing it that way, actually. We can see the cool chest storage strat that people like to do here in Cliff Plateau that lets you just sort of like phase through the wall and skip needing to use the leaf. Very cool. And they should notice that they have Skull Hammer. Alex, they haven't marked it off yet, but that's probably because they're still, you know, actively playing the game. As we can see, we're getting Grandma Save number 2 on Huffpuff's side, so everybody can cheer and chat, as they like to do. Let's see here. Cliff Plateau, Way the Hero. That's a little bit. It's a little bit of an insult, I think, when you consider the fact that you just got there. Kind of like the seed sort of, it feels like it's teasing you a bit when the hints work in that sort of capacity. Looks like we're going over to Mesa's house over here on Huffpuff's side. We, of course, know that that chest is not got anything in it, but they don't know that yet. They're going to get their second bottle here, actually, assuming they also do the Outset Fairy, so that will actually put Huffpuff slightly ahead, potentially, depending on other factors. As in, I mean, who knows? Maybe Bird's Peak also has a bottle. I've seen a bottle there before, so it's possible. And see Alex having a little bit of trouble with the leafing strat here. You can also get up there with there's a jump slashing strat that you can do. And I think they're pulling Leaf just, at least in that particular instance, it was just slightly too late to get the quick strat, but you can just go across the other side and do a little side hop like that and make it anyway, so very, very nice. So we're inside Bird's Peak without needing to use the bait bag, and time to see if we get another nice chest here. Oh, we do have a chest with spikes on it, so hey, maybe this is our third bottle. No, it's Command Melody. That's not quite a bottle. Close. It's very similar. The two are easily mixed up, and people sometimes confuse them with each other, so happens from time to time, but I can confirm for everyone here that that was actually the Command Melody and not the third bottle. But we are going to be seeing another bottle here soon. Granted, it is one that we have already seen, but, you know, that's fine. All bottles are created equal in the world of Wind Waker. We get to see the fabled appearance of one of the other songs that we don't get to see too often. Wind's Requiem, the song to change the wind. The randomizer uses the Swift Sail like they have in the HD version of the game. So you can actually change the wind's direction with your sail on its own. So a lot of times you want to change the wind that way, but we all forget sometimes to the terminology that is used is set the wind. So Wind's Requiem, you always have it in the randomizer, you start with it. So it's very nice because you can just use that just in case you aren't completely, as they might say, screwed. Which fairy island is this one? Oh, that's, well, whichever one it is, it's got the grappling hook, so that's pretty good. Thorned? Ah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Now I see the skull hammer. Probably should have tipped me off. But yeah, alright, that's good. Grappling hook is a nice item to find. You can use the grappling hook to grapple places. We also do know now that the paw print check did have a wallet upgrade in it. So the interesting thing about that is that the wallet upgrade does lead to a mail check. That wallet mail item could be a bottle. You never know. Those bottles, those pesky bottles, they could be, they like to hide in wallet mail sometimes. You just don't know. Alex doing the nice trick there to avoid solving the puzzle to get up to DRI. There is a hint stone on the way into the Dragon's Cavern entrance, and it looks like they are just going to elect to do DRC now. Gotta say, I do approve of this decision as well. You have all the items you really need to do DRC as fast as you'd like to. A Master Sword would be nice, you know, that's probably the only other thing you could even really imagine wanting to have here, but that doesn't really make that much of a difference, so this is definitely a fine choice, I think, to go in here. Lots of locations in here, lots of items. Yeah, so this should be interesting. Should find a lot of good stuff here. We're going to get to see how the chests with the keys in them look. If you haven't seen that before, it's a very neat color scheme. I very much like it. It stands out very well, and it's very easy to tell which chests have the dungeon items. And you can see it has a nice golden blue, or maybe you want to say that's yellow. I don't know. I think it's gold. It looks gold to me, but some people might say dark yellow. I guess it's just a matter of perspective at that. And it looks like we are going to see on Huffpuff's side the horseshoe. Horseshoe is an island. You need the leaf to do it. Well, you don't, but you do. There's a way to do it without the leaf, and it's very, very interesting. But if you don't have leaf, you do need the hook shot to get over to the chest. So we don't have a hook shot, but we do have leaf, so we can do it the nice, calm, easy way where we get to actually play golf and not skip the golf game. Although sometimes skipping it is fun too. You get to feel powerful. And we can see Alex doing in DRC what I sometimes like to call DRC floor 1 backwards, because not the way you're supposed to do this strat, or these two rooms. That chest being a wooden chest, so Alex is going to ignore it. And let's see, we're going to the second hole over here on this side. Power bracelets. Okay, that does give us our big pig in logic. Now, the interesting thing now is we actually know that the big key chest here in DRC now must be a small key, so we can progress further into the dungeon. If you don't find a small key in either of those two locations, then you must get it from either the big key chest or actually the Tingle chest. I just realized that Tingle chests are in fact in logic. I almost forgot about that, as we started with bombs, so Tingle chests. That's one of the reasons why Tingle chests are in, because we do start with bombs. So there could potentially even be 2 small keys down here. Only has to be 1, but there could be 2. We won't know yet until we go there. Unfortunately, it looks like horseshoe today is not going to be where our bottle is. I actually think I missed the hint describing what Alex was doing. I don't know if Huffpuff checked that hint there. Let's see. Yes. And we have a small key in this chest, or I suppose technically that could have been the big key as well, and the small key could have been in the big key chest, but it wasn't. It's just good to note those blue and gold chests can contain either small keys or the big key, so it's just worth noting. And now, here we have the magtail. Nice thing about this magtail is you can just do what Alex did and just throw the bomb right into the lava there like that, and it works pretty well. We do see we have a spiky chest here, so we are going to want to open this and see what's inside. We're hoping for a bottle. Let's see it. Come on. Almost. Boomerang. A boomerang isn't as often confused with bottles as the command melody is, but I have heard that it does happen from time to time. So, glad we were able to avoid that confusion there. Well, now we are going to be able to go backwards. Ooh, 5 figurines rewards hookshot. That may or may not be useful, actually. Don't really know. It's not actually hard required for anything in the overworld, so it might not be. Ooh, Alex clutching that one out. That was super close. Spicy. But yeah, the hookshot not required for anything in the overworld, so you could potentially avoid getting the hookshot in its entirety if you're willing to ignore the potential of Wind Temple, the later parts of Wind Temple specifically, having potentially having bottles. But who knows? We did get the hint for Wind Temple to be Way the Hero, I think. But that does not mean we even need to go there, as we are just looking today for bottles. And we've already found 2 of them, so we're halfway done, and we're only 40 minutes in. Anybody have any predictions on where they think a bottle might be? My guess, probably... Where do the bottles like to go? The chest locked in the tree trunk in Forbidden Woods feels like a good place for a bottle. Yeah, true, the French vanilla statue. You don't see that ever. The first bottle percent race that we had actually had the bottle... everyone finished with the bottle. The fourth bottle was on one of the chests on the stairs by Goma. So Bomb Island hint, also giving us the hookshot information. So that's good for our Huff Puff runner. What if Grandma had one? That would be quite epic. There's our big key for Alex, so doing well there. Unfortunately, today Grandma does have a golden feather, so disappointment. Oh, a piece of the Triforce. That could be potentially useful if there's a bottle in one of the 2 Hyrule checks, which is definitely possible. I don't know if I'd use the term likely, but possible, for sure. Alright, so we have the chest, the Rat Room chest here, of course, wooden chest, so it contains not anything that we want or need. The chest across there, that looked like it was a small key. I think Alex realizing now that that chest being a small key and the one in the across the lava pit also must be a small key, so they don't need to bother getting either of those, and they can just proceed to finish the dungeon. Everyone's favorite island here, Bomb Island. Always lots of fun. Some refer to it as the Magtail basketball. I can see why you might call it that. It does offer a bit of a resemblance to the basketball, conceptually. Ooh, we're making an unfortunate jump into the lava there. One of the reasons why everyone loves Bomb Island is you jump into the lava. Now they're going to go ahead and check the chest with the telescope, and yeah, it does appear as though that is a wooden chest, not spiky, so we can just leave, which is nice. I don't have to worry about falling into the lava again now, so that is definitely... You love to see it. Alex making quick work of these bokoblins. Oh, I think they're going to end up taking a dive into the lava, though, as well. Well, we have a spiky chest, so they'll be happy to see that. Hoping for another bottle here. Let's see. Looks like they're going to be going backwards up to the mini-boss, at least here, so... Nice throw, and we open the chest. It's another shard, so not quite a bottle, but you know. Oh my goodness, Alex is making these... Putting me on the edge of my seat here with some of these close calls. Some people are just clutch at the game, though. And it's very exciting and also stressful for someone like me. And let's see, it looks like we're at Thorn Ferry now on Huff Puff's side, so they should be getting their grappling hook if my memory serves me correctly, which usually it doesn't. So, I could be wrong. Alright, it looks like Alex wanted to just enter and exit this door here to set their void point in case they... to quickly get back to that door, if this is required or not. We're going to take a look here. Oh, we did the old... It is a spiky chest, so we might see with the... as I said, that void point, we might see a nice old store the chest and void out to go back to the door type situation. That's a popular trick we see sometimes done by runners. They're getting out the Wind Waker, so storage does look like it's on the table. Oh, we get that storage, so we get to skip the cutscene of the Moblin. The thing I like about this cutscene skip here is that the Moblin gets all kind of wonky, and it gets all skewed, and it's kind of hilarious. Yeah, it's like half inside the game. Just doesn't like the fact that you didn't watch that cutscene. Like, look at this guy; he's all messed up. He's like me on a Sunday morning. Oh, wait, that's now, isn't it? We are going for storage strats here, so we're going to store the chest. Oh, going to store the chest, and we're going to do the old void out here. You can just slowly walk into this corner, fall down, you void out, it takes you to the last place that you entered from the loading zone from, and that is, of course, right here. We're at the door. Not sure what we got from that. It's not another bottle, so it doesn't really matter that much, unfortunately. Wasn't a sword or a shield. Wasn't another Tingle Statue. Wasn't a pearl. It must have been a letter of some kind, since we already have a ghost ship chart. That would be my guess. I guess that would only leave one letter then. Oh, we know. Oh, wow. Wasn't that where the bottle was last time? Wasn't that in the first bottle percent race? Wasn't that where the final bottle was? Where everybody finished? The other side? Ah. Well, it was one of those two chests, so... Yeah, that's dang, whoever rolled this seed, they obviously pre-rolled it. Interesting call here by Alex, and I kind of approve. The odds of a bottle being in Hyrule are so low that there's really no reason to actually fight Goma. It makes a lot of sense to just not do it. The boss battles are really, really slow. Specifically, Goma is like really, really slow. So, yeah, I like the call there. Now, of course, if the bottle is in Hyrule, skipping all the dungeon bosses like this basically loses you the race every single time. But, like we said, it's such a small chance of something like that happening that it's almost definitely a worthwhile play. And I think we're going to be going into DRC over here on Huffpuff's side as well. Very exciting. We are going to go back and grab the wallet here on Alex's side, so that's interesting. So the interesting thing there, Transman Jason, is that today this is our bi-weekly fun race, which these are less than traditional type settings that we do here as a sort of semi-regular community event. And today we're racing to see who can find all 4 bottles the fastest. So we are not actually even going to care about defeating Ganon today. Nobody cares about light arrows. Nobody cares about sword upgrades. All we care about today are bottles. Obviously, things like Leaf and Grappling Hook are nice because they allow us to check more places so we can have better chances of finding bottles. But ultimately, the winner is going to be the individual that collects all 4 bottles first. Yes, it's definitely very interesting, and this has been... it's been a long time coming for this. Recently, there was an update with the randomizer that actually changed how the randomizer worked. I shouldn't say recently, it wasn't that recent, but the last update to the randomizer, I should say, made it to where that the randomizer only puts 1 bottle in the logical locations, but we've been playing on a test build to test some new features, and there has been an option added back in to allow you to put all the duplicate items in logic if one of them is. So we've taken advantage of that potential new setting to give the old bottle percent another go. And so far we have found 3 of them. Each of our runners have 2. One of them is shared between the 2 runners, and the other one is unique to one of our runners. But the nice thing for Huffpuff is they are actually in the dungeon that contains the 3rd bottle, so they are they're very close to being 3/4 of the way done. The Cabana bottle, so the bottle that Huffpuff found that Alex does not have is in on the top of the waterfall at Cabana. And that could be very interesting because I think a lot of our other runners are not going to want to go to Cabana until they can check the inside of Cabana. So Huffpuff's sort of gamble there might be paying off a little bit, depending on where the Tingle Statues are, because we do know from a hint we received the Tingle Statues lead to the hookshot, which is one way to get inside Cabana. And of course, the other option would be depending on where the delivery bag and the cabana deed are. So those are a couple of the things that we are all trying to figure out desperately. And we're all dying to see what's in this wallet mail. A silver rupee. Okay, so unfortunately the wallet was complete bait. But hey, at least we have plenty of money now. And we are back at Mother and Child. There are 2 hints here. Oh, Alex just going to leave. Doesn't care about hints anymore. Are we seeing the big pig? No, we're going to Forest Haven, it looks like. So maybe a play into Forbidden Woods. We do have everything we could ever possibly want to have for Forbidden Woods. Maybe Hookshot, I suppose. Hookshot does help a little bit for the big key chest. You could also make a case for... you could also make a case for wanting to have a Master Sword, although maybe Alex doesn't really care too much at all about that, because I don't think they plan on fighting any bosses, given how they played DRC, so... Although Calademos might be a boss you don't want to skip because of the Orca mail, so probably not the best idea for this particular boss, but we'll see what they decide to do. And we're going to be trying on Huffpuff's side to squeeze down in here and get our small key and something from the basement. I don't remember what it was. I just remember it was something. Oh, was it the boomerang? Is the boomerang here? I think it's the boomerang. I'm actually almost certain it's the boomerang. Can the bottle be on boss? So we actually are playing in race mode. So all the bosses contain, they have Triforce shards on them instead of other progression items. So the answer to the question, I guess the short answer is no bottles on bosses. But some of our bosses, specifically the Helmeron, and Calademos, technically Jauhala as well in Earth Temple, but Earth Temple is not in logic in this particular seed, so this doesn't apply today. But Calademos and Helmerock both have letters that you get when you defeat the boss. Those could have bottles in them, although we did already get a hint for the arrow mail that you get from defeating Helmerock, and it was, I think it was a chart, or maybe it was a piece of heart. All I remember is it wasn't a bottle, so we know we can avoid that. So, Helmerock is also potentially a very skippable boss because of that wonderful, wonderful hint in this seed. If one wanted to do so. Now, I did mention this slightly before, but the risk, of course, to skipping these other bosses like that, the benefit, of course, is you're saving yourself 3 to 4 minutes per boss, right? The boss fights are not short in this game. The negative side, of course, being that if one of the bottles is in Hyrule, which is actually exceedingly less likely now that we know where 3 of the bottles are, you're basically a guaranteed loss. But you're only, by playing that way, you're only guaranteeing yourself a loss, really, in about, probably less than 2% of all seeds. So, I think... I mentioned this before, I think it's definitely well worth the risk to avoid the bosses in this particular... Especially the ones that don't have an extra item check tied to them, like Goma and potentially Goaded and even Volgera. So... We're going to see Alex opening up the warp pot here as Huffpuff is leafing back around, and it looks like they're going to be heading up DRC the what we might call the old-fashioned way, vanilla strats. Definitely a little bit of nostalgia here. Oh. The boomerang didn't like the way we targeted those. Alright. Well, we've got another small key over here on Huffpuff's side. Very nice. Gonna need at least, we would have needed at least one more of those to go through this dungeon. This way at least. So that is definitely a nice find. And now we of course know that the last key, there's one in the rat room, so they won't notice that. Oh, there it is! Oh wow. Oh wow, we know where all the bottles are. So if Alex goes to Cabana after Forbidden Woods, they'll be done. So we'll see. So yeah, that's so we've all finished the race. We found all the bottles. Congrats everyone in chat, trackers, you know, free streamer. We did it. Chat, of course, finishes in first place. We have all the information. Nothing else matters. Yes, congratulations, everyone. We have done it. What do we win? We win the satisfaction of knowing that we won. And also hugs, but virtual hugs. Virtual hugs. Well, I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a little bit, I suppose, boring for those of us here for a few minutes here. We know, unfortunately, Alex is not going to find their last bottle in Forbidden Woods, as we know the location of it. And, of course, we know that Huffpuff will find their third bottle here eventually, but they are a little bit away from the fourth bottle still, depending. They might decide to go right into Forbidden Woods, actually, after this. I'm not sure how comfortable they are with and what items they like to get for Forbidden Woods, but that is definitely something we could see. It certainly is a play that makes a lot of sense. Forbidden Woods is definitely a really good dungeon to do really early, so I would approve of that sort of a routing decision, personally. I like doing Forbidden Woods early, especially if I have bombs, boomerang, leaf, grappling hook. I would prefer Master Sword, but you know, not a requirement. I don't even have a shield yet. I wonder where all the shields are. Alex deciding they do want to grab that, just in case it's the big key, I'm guessing. It was not. It was the small key. There's that Tingle Statue, the French vanilla one we were talking about earlier. Very nice. You'll love to see it. Boy, you love this red flower too, isn't it just awesome? What do we have here? Is it the vanilla big key? I can't tell. Yes, it is. Alex gonna opt to grab it instead of doing a big key skip. Don't think it matters too much either way, admittedly, in this particular situation. Big key skip might be slightly faster, but also is a lot easier to take a long time on, because if you are off your game on your bomb drop storages, bomb push storage, you can easily lose a lot of time there, so. I don't think it's a bad play at all to just grab the big key. And now we're going to, yeah, we're heading over to the boss room, it looks like. Very nice. We're doing the old pull the bomb, door pull the bomb. I like it. Somewhere along the way, we grabbed a bomb bag upgrade. Didn't notice that. Don't think Huff Puff found it, so maybe it was one of the stored chests here in Forbidden Woods. Not sure, honestly. If anybody remembers when it looked like we received that, Huff Puff about to probably pop off here. Here we have the third bottle. They're now one bottle away. We know where it's at. It's a race to see who goes to either Forbidden Woods or Cabana first, depending on whose team you're on, who you're a fan of, or whose perspective you're looking at it from. The thing is, it's actually very, very reasonable, I think, for Alex to go to Cabana after this. Geographically wise, it's very near Forbidden Woods. Doesn't really make a lot of sense practically because they don't have the hookshot yet, or the delivery bag, or the deed to be able to actually do the inside of Cabana, so they would be risking a potential double dip, but it doesn't mean it's not something that they won't do. And we take down Calademos. We're gonna get a treasure, or a Triforce shard from that. Very nice. Not as nice as a bottle, of course, but still nice. Yeah, the difficult thing is that because Alex knows where the hookshot is, it kind of makes... There is a bit of, like, reasoning to... Because the leaf was so early, there's a bit of reasoning to... You could go to Cabana early because that check opened up so early, but also... Alright, that chest was Note to Mom, so we were correct about that. Ish. That check does open up really early, but once you get the hint that tells you that the hookshot must be on ankle, you kind of makes you not want to go there even more because you'd rather get the hookshot first. But as far as you know, the old the bottle could be it could be there, or the hookshot could be, well, not the hookshot. That's a bad example, but one of the Tingle statues could be there, which, of course, leads to the hookshot, thus making deed skip impossible, at least in this particular state. Oh, we do have one more Tingle statue. That could be huge if we find the last one. Getting that hookshot could coerce Alex into going to Cabana. It's a really nice place to go in the overworld. There are 3 checks there, but of course we do need to either find that delivery bag in the Cabana deed first, or the hookshot. I guess we don't actually need to find the hookshot. We already know where it's at. We just need to get it. Well, we'll see where they go. We'll see where they go now. We are going to check this. This could be the, Tingle statue. Oh, it's the Tingle Tuner. That's close. That's almost a Tingle statue. It does have Tingle in the name. Where are we going to go? Are we going to Cabana? No? Yes? No, we're going to Bomb Island. Okay, Bomb Island. That makes a lot of sense. It is very close by here. Now this is going to be interesting. Are we going to go to Cabana next? This actually could be huge. It's very, very reasonable to go to Cabana after Bomb Island in this situation here. But it's also, at the same time, equally reasonable, and maybe even more reasonable, to not go to Cabana. Just because, again, you can't full clear it. You don't really want to full clear it. All right, we are seeing that same hint again, the hook shot location. Yes, where is Huffpuff going is also huge. They could be going to their hook. Oh, there. I think we're going to go check on that wallet that we found out was in Paw Print. That appears to be where they're going, I would have to say, if I had to guess. Well, maybe we're going to stock up on bombs really quick first, though. Yes, it does appear we're refilling on bombs, so... Alex is going to see very quickly that they don't need to do the rest of the Magtail shenanigans. Whipping out the telescope, we should be able to tell almost right away. Yes, there are spikes on that chest. And here is the moment of truth. The moment of truth. The moment of truth. We're going to talk to Coral, get some inspiration. We don't have the sail. Oh, we're equipping sail. Oh, this could be huge. Oh, this is going to be huge. Oh, this is massive. Oh, this could be the race right here. This could be GG. Alex might be finishing before, right? That's true. Huffpuff not very far behind at all. They are right on the cusp, going up into Forest Haven, going into the entrance. Alex sees the spikiness of the chest. They're going in hot. Coming up at super speed. Here we go. I have to do this the slow way. We of course don't have hook shot. Setting the wind. Setting the stage. Excitement, intrigue. Oh, we're gonna safety save to potentially save scum the chest if we need it for deed skip later, but we're not going to. We're not going to. We can say that definitively. We're gonna check the hint. We're gonna check the hint. Wind Temple's way the hero. None of us care. Nobody cares. None of that matters now. Oh, we're going. Oh, we're gonna get some arrows maybe first. Does Alex know? Is this all on purpose? Is this to drive us all mad? Here it comes. We're going over to the chest. We open the chest. We've done it. We've got bottle percent. The race is over. There it is. The finish. Alex finishes in first place. 1 hour and 7 minutes. GG's. What a showing. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, I'm really glad we did 5 dungeon race mode because obviously those other 3 dungeons were critically important. Critically important. And I think we are going to be joined for an interview here. By Alex. In just a few moments. Wind Temple way the hero. I know, right? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I don't know. Who even knows? Wind Temple. Wait. Wind. What do we even... Doesn't even matter. Who cares? But we can see, actually, Huffpuff is heading into Forbidden Woods. Forbidden Woods is the place where the last bottle is. They are right on the cusp of also finishing the leaf. We're going into the tornado. Gaining the height. And we are joined by Alex. GG's, congratulations.
GG's.
What? Oh no, we got hit by the... Huffpuff getting hit by the P-Hat, the ultimate troll. Oh. heartbreaking. Well, what did you think of the seed?
I thought the seed was really nice. It was a big casino for sure. They gave you all the items to do pretty much any dungeon you wanted right away.
True.
It was that little troll with ankle having hook shot, but that didn't come into play, thankfully.
True. You didn't, you got that, Wind Temple Way of the Hero. You didn't consider going there after you got the iron boots and, you know?
No, I wanted to do more dungeons with higher check density. I could only do 9 out of 13 in Wind Temple, whereas in, Forbidden Woods and DRC I could do 17 and 16, like, full clears. So I wanted to do as many checks as possible as soon as possible, with the mindset that I'm not going to full clear the seed, because who knows if, like, 5 or 4 bottles are just, like, Windfall and Dragon Roost, and that's it, or something like that. So I went for the highest check density first.
Makes sense. I did make a point to say when we noticed that you decided not to do Goma, and I said it makes a lot of sense because you're basically saying, I'm going to save 3 to 4 minutes on each boss fight, but of course, on the less than 1% chance there's a bottle in Hyrule, I am probably just going to completely lose, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I have to take a little risk there. There's a bottle in Hyrule, we're in for a long one.
Yeah, I even said that, now if that does happen, you do lose, but it's such a small percent chance that I think skipping the bosses is definitely worth it. With the exception of, which is also what you did, was doing Calidamos because, of course, of Orca Mail, so that definitely makes sense. And also, Calidamos is, like, super fast, so...
It is, yeah.
But yeah, it was so epic because we actually saw Huffpuff and your third bottle, the Forbidden Woods one, is going to be their final bottle, so they had already gone to Cabana. So we knew you were going to finish as soon as we saw you leave Bomb Island, and it was really intense. And then we were watching, and you were like, you're checking it with the telescope. We're like, oh, he knows, and then you like sailed around, and then you went to the hint, and we were like, oh god, just go get the chest, and then you went and you got like some bombs and some arrows, and we're all like, like pulling our hair out. It was so funny.
Gotta give it a little suspense.
It was very tense. The tension was massive. But yeah, it was very cool. Very cool. Very exciting.
Even though it was a casino seed, it was still definitely a lot of fun.
True. Yeah, I liked a lot of the beginning. The leaf being super early. I liked the beginning routing choices, just going straight to Windfall. Obviously, is very standard, but got a lot of information there. Northern Ferry. That was fun. We also got to talk a little bit about the peeking the jail maze chest strat, because I know that's pretty... I guess it's not really new to us that have been racing, but I don't know how many times we've seen that used on ZSR yet, so getting to talk about that was cool.
We got a little trolled with the hints as well this seed. We got Windfall, Way of the Hero on Windfall Island. I think Paw Print, Way of the Hero in Paw Print Cave or something like that. Or maybe it was DRI, Way of the Hero on DRI. It was one of those. There's a couple of those. That was pretty troll, to be honest, but...
Yeah, there was one for the Paw Print hint in Paw Print about the climbing...
that was the one, yeah.
Yep, for the wallet, and it's like, oh, that one's so rough because you don't know if you need it or what. And both you and Huff ended up going back to check it. I think they did. Oh, maybe they didn't. You did, obviously.
Yeah, I went back because I wanted to get that other fairy fountain as well. Yeah,
that makes sense. And that was where the Aurora's Pearl. I couldn't think of what. I almost just said the green pearl because I couldn't think of it. And then everybody would have made fun of me. It's like, it's Aurora's Pearl. I know, I just forgot. I'm sorry. I'm bad. But yeah, so I liked that. I liked the routing. The routing with Ghost Ship was really good too. I was really we were really worried because Huffpuff got the leaf early there at I got it at DRI before going to Paw Print, and we were like, oh no, they won't have leaf for if they want to go do Ghost Ship. And then we were like, but wait, he can still get it at Paw Print, and you did, and then we were all happy.
Yep. And then I had the disaster that I failed the leaf pump because turns out my controller was having issues, so I had to stop and replug that back in.
Oh, so. That's rough. Yeah. And the Stalfos just wanted to ruin your whole day today.
Yeah.
And Yeah, that was almost a tragedy. But luckily, it ended up working out, and you got through that. That's actually really, really huge. Having being able to like mentally recover from something that can be so frustrating, like just getting beat up by that Stalfos. That's always super impressive, and it feels good when you can recover from that and finish out the seed and play well.
It does. Definitely started playing a lot better when I started to clear my dungeons, even though I had a shaky start. So I'll attribute that to all the throws in Earth Temple, giving me a stronger mental.
Yeah, I mean, watching through. I mean, the DRC seemed like it went really, really well for you. I mean, the platform, shooting down the platform was basically perfect. I mean, I don't know how much better you could have wanted it to go, really, the dungeon as a whole. So that's always really nice. That has to feel really good. And then you find the bottle there, and you're like, that makes you feel even better, because you're on a roll. Let's see, what else was there? Anything else you thinking about in the seed? The grapple placement was kind of rough.
Yeah.
All the way.
If you don't visit that island, although the Skull Hammer was pretty generous, like it was pretty much on the way, as long as you store the top of the Cliff Plateau. Yeah,
true. It was very convenient. Convenient placing, so that worked out well. Definitely.
I'm just glad we didn't have to dip dungeons, or like the other dungeons at all.
Oh,
like,
true.
If it was somewhere in Tot G, like just having to find that third pearl and then go through all of Tot G as well, just like, ugh. Oh,
yeah. Like we got the two hints for the way the hero ones were Tot G and Wind Temple, right? And we were like, oh yeah, I'm betting. My prediction for the last bottle, when we didn't, the Forbidden Woods one that you found, when you found it, that was when we, as chat and the Restream team and volunteers, all knew where the 4 bottles were. And before that point, my guess was actually, and people can go back to check the VOD and say this, I said the chest locked in the tree trunk, I'm pretty sure. So I was like really, really close. My completely random, uneducated guess was really, really close to almost being accidentally correct.
Yep. Sometimes it's how it is.
True. Sometimes you just have a read.
Yep.
Well, anything else you want to talk about on the seed there, or anything
not
else
really? It was a nice, straightforward seed.
Yeah, we were scared. I was talking a little bit about like, it kind of makes sense to go to Cabana here, but also a lot of times you want to wait until you can do the inside of Cabana too, but then it's like, oh, but also you're right here and you can sail and you can peek it with the thing, and
yep. But then also,
yeah, and then we were like, well, you also know that where Hookshot is, so that Deed Skip is a long way away, but then we saw you find another. You're only missing one Tingle Statue. Then we're like, oh well, if we find the Tingle Statue and we get the Hookshot, then we're definitely probably going to be going to Cabana pretty quick. But then you went there anyway, and we were all really excited.
Do we know where the 5th Tingle Statue is, or has Huffpuff not seen it? Okay.
I haven't seen it yet, so...
Let's hope it's not in some mean placement. People get baited by it or something. Go to Wind Temple.
True. Oh, that would be awful. It's very exciting. We were also talking about the possibility of not going into someplace like Wind Temple in this one, and given the hookshot placement, and and then you started to kind of realize too, as we're watching, it's like, oh, things like light arrows and sword upgrades, don't really even matter. You don't even care.
Yeah, they don't. Like, the shards are just like, oh, okay, I guess. Yeah. I got baited.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely interesting. And you got, was the Orca Mail a shard too, I think? Or
I think it might have been. It might have been a golden feather, though. I'm not sure which one it was.
Gotcha. We know Grandma was a...
Grandma was a golden feather. So maybe it was another Triforce piece. I could check my tracker if I pull it back up.
Gotcha. Nice. Very nice. Oh, getting hit by the Octos. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
I have Orca Mail is the Tingle Tuner.
Oh, that's right. Because I think I made a joke about that being almost the Tingle Statue. LOL.
Yeah.
But yeah. And it looks like we have our next restream finisher with Koala finishing in 2nd place at time 1:19:25. So GG's to Koala. Oh, and right behind them, Jarhead finishes 1:19:36. Very, very close as well. Wow. Right on each other's heels. And of course, we know Huffpuff having the small key should be heading over to the small key area next, and they should be finishing here. We get the first. It's going to be the big key, of course. The vanilla big key. That was interesting.
Yep. The little troll.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, and I think I approve of just grabbing the big key. I think, like, you can do bomb drop and store double Mothula and not do this, but do you really want to? Like,
yeah,
it's right
Makes
there,
sense.
you know.
Yeah, I already came all this way. I might as well, because like I still had to check double Mothula. If double Mothula wasn't a key, then this would have been an item. So I would have been extra screwed because I wanted to go back down and get the key.
Yeah.
Or get the item, I mean.
For sure. Huffpuff electing to do the combat here. Never fun to fight moblins with just a baby sword.
Nope. In DRC mini boss, I did get that skew though. Like the moblin was like sideways or something. Never seen that before. That
was awesome. We were talking about that a little bit, and we're like, that's like the most hilarious thing when you get that cutscene skip is the moblin like stands, like forgets how to exist in our plane of existence. Like
starts walking on the wall.
It's so good. It's so good.
It is. I had never seen that cutscene skip before, so I had no idea that that's what happened when you did that too. So that was kind of extra funny.
Yeah, GG's to Koala, who's joining us in here now as well. It appears. I hope the seed went well for you.
Hello. It was pretty painless for the most part. I got really scared of dungeons after Forbidden Woods and DRC though.
Gotcha. So did you get the outset bottle, then DRC, then Forbidden Woods, then Cabana, or? Yeah,
that's exactly the order I went in.
Gotcha. That's the order Alex got them in, right?
Yep, that's the order I got them in.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say Huffpuff got I think the Cabana bottle first and then outset, and they did DRC and now they're in Forbidden Woods, so they should be getting that bottle here in the next couple of minutes.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did DRC going like I don't know where else to be right now, especially after I got when I found the bow, I was like I just have to go to DRC. Mm-hmm. And heading up to DRC, I was like I think the only boss I'm going to kill in this is Kali Demos.
That makes sense. We were talking about that a little bit too. You basically, you run the risk of like the 0.5% to 1% of the time that one of the bottles ends up in Hyrule, you basically just guaranteed lose if somebody else is fighting the bosses. But you save like 20 minutes skipping bosses total, so maybe not 20 minutes, but it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it in this type of a race for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I did open the warp pot in DRC because I was like, I'm scared that I might have to end up killing Goma. So.
That's exactly what would happen to me too. I would be freaking out in that situation.
I was like, the odds of me having to go to Hyrule are super low, so I'm not going to kill Goma right now, but I'm going to open the warp pot.
Setting up for the end game boss rush. The five consecutive boss rush at the end or something like that.
How many...
I guess...
Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just going to say, I guess you kind of do Calidamos because of Orca Mail, but we did get a hint for Arrow Mail, right? That it was a heart piece, I think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the only reason I did Calidemos was because Orca Mail. And I would have done Helmrot King if not for the arrow hint.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was
But
gonna
all the
ask
other bosses...
Alex, how many dungeons did you go into?
I just did Forbidden Woods and DRC. I didn't want to touch FF because it was low check density, and we know Arrow Mail's dead. And I can't do Phantom Getting because I only ended with one sword, so...
Yeah, I did too, but I dipped into every dungeon.
Oh, where's the third pearl?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Gotcha.
Did you get all Tingle statues?
No, I got 4, I think.
Okay, that's how many I have as well. Guess we're still
The world
missing that
may
fifth
never
one.
know.
Yeah.
And there's Puff's final bottle, and they should be hitting done here any second. Huffpuff, there it is, 4th place. GG's to Huffpuff. And they are here to join us for an interview as well. Welcome, welcome, GG's.
GG's.
So, what did you think?
It was better than expected. Could have been worse.
Yeah, we were all just talking about, you got the bottles actually in a different order from our other 2 runners here. They ended on Cabana, and you ended, of course, in Forbidden Woods. So
Yeah.
it was interesting to see the route differences.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, most of my early game was just, I want a bottle before I outset because soup.
Mm-hmm. That
That's
makes sense.
basically it.
Makes sense. Any other thoughts on the seed by anybody?
I will say, when I got Grandma Mail, I realized that my Way of the Hero hints were kind of pointless. So I was like, okay, she gave me a feather, so the bottles aren't Way of the Hero, so that's not going to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so funny because we were, Panjo made a joke in chat about the Wind Temple Way of the Hero hint. Thanks, hints.
Did anybody find the last Tingle statue?
Nope.
No.
We're all still shrouded in mystery, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Somebody might be able to go play the rest of the seed, I suppose. I guess one thing we do know is it's not in Hyrule.
That is
Oh,
true. Yep.
Was that foolish?
Well, it's just because we had a hint for Ankle having the hook shot, so since Wind Temple is required.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
clearly it would have been the first check in Wind Temple then.
Ah, yes. That makes sense. It's exactly what would happen. What else was into? Oh yeah, Huffpuff, you had definitely had the struggle in DRC because you were one of our runners that actually did not find the bow ahead of time.
A bow?
Yeah. The
There's
ghost
one on
ship.
top Headstone.
Yeah, the ghost ship chart had the bait bag, and then on top of Headstone was the bow.
Ah.
Yeah, but still, your DRC was pretty. Seemed like it went pretty clean, considering not being able to shoot down the platform and doing it backwards. So
Yeah.
that's good, at least. Also, I don't know about Koala, but neither of you found a shield. We could not protect ourselves.
I did find a shield.
Oh.
I think it was in Diamond Step.
Ooh, okay,
Ah.
interesting. Well, there we go. Did you find a sword? Neither of our restream runners found swords.
No, I still had Hero Sword at the end.
Mm.
But
Dang.
I did.
Find Neru's Pearl?
I did, and I don't remember where it was. It might have been Islet. Did anyone else do Islet?
I didn't do Isla.
I think there was a hint for
It was
Islet of
hinted.
Steel.
It was hinted
As-
of heart piece or something, I think.
Oh, then I missed that hint. Well, I definitely did Islet. I don't remember
yeah,
where
it was
Neru's
eight.
Pearl was.
It was unlucky for you as well, Huffpuff, because there was a hint for Western Fairy being
Yeah.
foolish too, and you ended up going there. That was a little bit of a bummer, but you know it happens.
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
I got that hint after doing Western Fairy, like almost immediately after. It's like
That's
why'd you do this?
always the worst. It's like a slap in the face from the game.
Always the best hints.
True. True. I don't even know what was left to go do, honestly. I was like... We did find out that the wallet and cabana led to nothing, so that was a giant bait, even though it gave you the hint. Or not the wallet and cabana, the wallet and paw print, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went
I'm
back
thinking
for
so
that.
much about... Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking so much about cabana because that was where all the magic was happening.
If I knew how to do the bomb drop storage in paw print to scale the wall, I might have tried for it like a couple times. But since I didn't, I was just like, yeah, I'll come back for it later.
No,
when
I'm
I
pretty
get
sure
shot
doesn't
by-
it take hookshot?
I think
that?
I think so, but I could be wrong, but
Okay, never mind then.
As-
Like I said, I don't know anything about that trick, so
same. I've never
Yeah,
even tried it.
I don't remember it very well. I think it takes hookshot, but you know, if someone who knows better says it doesn't, then
True. If somebody told me that there was a way to do it without hookshot, I would believe them. I'd ask them to show it to me, but I wouldn't initially tell them that they were wrong. Be like,
that's
oh,
fair.
that's so cool. Do you have a clip of that? I need to learn how to do that. Then also just not learn it because I'm never going to do that.
Well, with CTMC, it might be worth like having it in your wheel box, you know?
Yeah,
Wheel
true.
box, wheelhouse.
Especially 'cause something. Yeah, because you can see the chest and it's
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
immediately know if it's going to be useful or not instead of trying it for 10 minutes, failing, and ended up getting nothing for it anyway.
Yeah, instead you just try it
We
for 10
have
minutes.
our fifth place finisher for Ryukane, and with that, the race has concluded for everyone. So GG's to them as well. Sorry to interrupt you there.
It's fine. I'm just gonna looking back now and trying to find Nehru's Pearl.
Well, one thing we know for sure is that it had to be somewhere.
That is true. Oh, I might have found it.
Oh, excitement,
Let me
intrigue.
Let me put the speed up to 2 times so I can get through this. I found a point before and after when I had it, so let me just make sure.
The narrowing.
I'm guessing Wind Temple because you said you dipped other dungeons. I
No,
didn't dip.
it was Southern Ferry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So-
Tot G
yeah,
was open pretty early then.
Yeah.
Wind
3 Sphere
Wind-
0 pearls is scary.
Temple was the only dungeon I didn't dip. I did the first floor of Tot G before I checked Cabana, and then I went. That was the last thing I did before Cabana, and I went. I don't want to do the rest of Tot G. I'm gonna go check Cabana. So I saved in
Makes
Tot
sense.
G, left, checked Cabana, and I was like, if it's nothing, I save scum back to Tot G.
That makes sense to me. The first floor of Tot G makes a lot of sense when you start with bombs and you get 3 pearls, like in Sphere 0 checks.
Yeah,
That first floor starts to look pretty juicy.
And I knew there was a sword there, and I'd already done the rest of Forsaken Fortress minus Helmrock.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I was also like worried maybe Phantom Ganon has it, and I know exactly where a sword is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I really didn't want to do Tot G, so I was so happy when I found that last bottle.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't have wanted to either, so I understand.
That was a fun race, though.
That was a fun race.
Shoutouts to Tanjo for making the build that lets that really be possible.
Yeah, huge shoutouts to Tanjo for all the work that he's done to help remake races like this possible.
Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I've pretty much been talking everybody's ears off for about 2 hours now, so I can probably stop. Anybody else?
All right, then GG's everyone. It was really fun to watch. I had a good time, and I'm sure everyone in chat did too. And we're going to go ahead and raid ZSR 1. They're in the middle of a tournament right now, and they just started, so hopefully we won't have missed much.
Thank you for the restream, and thank you to Haley and Tanjo for tracking for us. And GG's to everyone.